A thunderous boom rent the calm night air over the Nevada desert, sending a murder of crows scattering in all directions. Jane Smith shot up in bed, peering out the window of her on-site trailer at the secretive government facility known only as Area 52. "What in the Sam Hill was that?" Jane muttered. Her AI assistant, Alfie, flickered to life, emitting a faint blue glow in the darkened room. "I believe we have an unauthorized meteorological event, Dr. Smith," he intoned. Jane raised an eyebrow. "In English, Alfie?" It seemed something just crash-landed nearby. Jane threw on her lab coat over her pajamas and rushed outside, scanning the night sky. Off in the distance, she could make out a smoking crater carved into the desert floor. Grabbing a med kit, she hopped onto her motorbike and sped toward the impact site. As she approached, Jane could see a hulking figure dragging itself from the crater. She jumped off her bike and cautiously approached, medkit at the ready. The figure came into the glare of her headlight, revealing itself to be a 7-foot-tall humanoid creature with mottled green skin and pointed ears. It was clad in futuristic armor emblazoned with unknown symbols and clan crests. The creature was clearly wounded, its leg bent at an odd angle, and its head dripping with neon blue blood. "Greetings, terrestrial life form," it rasped in perfect English. "I am Gorthok of the Klaatu Star Collective. I come in peace and require medical assistance." Jane stood mouth agape, unsure of how to respond. A real extraterrestrial right here in Area 52. This changed everything. She composed herself and set to work examining Gorthak's injuries. "You're in luck. This facility specializes in xenomedical services," she said. "Xenomedical services? You Earthlings never cease to surprise," Gorthak said. Jane attempted to realign the broken leg into a splint. Gorthak winced, but remained stoic. "So what brings you to our little corner of the galaxy?" Jane asked, trying to distract the alien from the pain. "I was pursuing a renegade faction of Ska'ari raiders when my star cruiser was sabotaged by an ion bomb. I escaped in a life pod before the ship exploded, but the resulting warp cascade threw me far off course." Jane nodded as if star cruisers and ion bombs were a typical Tuesday night. She loaded the massive alien onto her bike and sped back to the facility. "Alfie, wake up the team and prep the operating room," she barked into her communicator. "We have an extraterrestrial patient incoming." "Very good, Dr. Smith," Alfie replied in his perpetually unflappable tone. "Shall I alert the laundry department to expect copious amounts of neon bloodstains?" Jane smirked. Alfie's dry humor was oddly comforting given the strangeness of the situation. She just hoped her team was up for the challenge of their first real xeno patient. As they wheeled Gorthak into the operating room, he regarded the assembled doctors with curiosity. "The irony is not lost on me that I was trying to prevent a galactic war, only to have fate deliver me into the hands of possible enemies. But I place my life in your care, for good or ill," he said resolutely. Jane placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You're among friends here. I swear on my Hippocratic oath that we'll do everything we can to patch you up and get you home." Gorthak managed a pained smile, then closed his eyes and surrendered to the anesthetic. Jane cracked her knuckles and prepared to boldly go where no human doctor had gone before. Gorthak slowly awoke to find himself lying in an unfamiliar sterile room. As his vision came into focus, he realized his leg was encased in a hard white cast, and his head wound neatly sutured. "Good morning, sleepyhead," a cheery voice piped up. Gorthak turned to see Dr. Jane Smith standing beside him, clutching a tablet. "How's my favorite patient feeling today?" "I am puzzled," Gorthak said slowly. "Why does your tone imply we have an intimate familial bond?" Jane laughed. "Oh, I call all my patients sleepyhead. It's just my bedside manner." "Ah, fascinating," mused Gorthak. We Klaatu express medical compassion through solemn battle poems and honor vigils. Jane blinked. Yes, well, different planets, different customs, I suppose. Just then, Alfie hovered into the room. Good news, Gorthak. We were able to completely repair your tibia and fibula using nanosutures and a cortical bone regenerator. You'll be back on both feet in no time. Your technical language confounds, but also impresses me. You are a credit to your human clan, Gorthak said respectfully. Why, thank you, Alfie replied. As the poet Longfellow wrote, give what you have to somebody. It may be better than you dare think. Gorthak furrowed his brow. Forgive me, but I do not grasp the meaning of your Earth aphorism. Alfie dimmed his lights sheepishly. Yes. My literary quotation algorithm still needs some fine-tuning. Jane shook her head and smiled. Now that you're awake, we need you to start walking on that leg to strengthen it back up. Ready to try taking a few steps? Gorthak sat up with a determined look. I am ready to bear any hardship in the name of recovery. He took one tentative step forward, then immediately tumbled to the floor with a crash. Goodness! Are you all right? Cried Jane, helping him up. Do not be troubled, physician. A true Klaatu warrior welcomes such pain. Gorthak grunted as he got back on his feet. Over the next few days, Gorthak made slow but steady progress learning to walk again. The medical staff marveled at his tolerance for discomfort and stoic attitude no matter how many times he stumbled. His stubbornness was oddly endearing. During physical therapy one day, Gorthak noticed a group of doctors gather around a monitor displaying what looked like an elderly man covered in strange lesions. The doctors murmured to each other in concerned tones. Such troubling symptoms, so rare to see it in someone so young, said one. If only we had access to more research funding, lamented another. Our diagnostic tech is so outdated. Gorthak hobbled over to join them. Please allow me to assist. My people are no strangers to disfiguring maladies. He placed a palm on the monitor and closed his eyes. After a moment, he spoke. This patient suffers from advanced Yorvanian tree plague. Have you tried intravenous psyllium mycelium? That should stabilize him until we can develop an antidote from his blood. The doctors looked amazed. One rushed off to gather the necessary medicines while others shook Gorthak's hand gratefully. Jane laughed. Look at you already paying it forward. We may make an honorary human out of you yet. Gorthak simply bowed his head. I am merely using my abilities to aid how I can. 'Tis the honorable thing. As Gorthak's recovery progressed, his respect deepened for these resourceful, compassionate creatures. Perhaps the universe connected their paths for a reason. Only time would tell what interstellar friendships might yet be forged. A month after crashing on Earth, Gorthak was nearly back to full strength. He strode confidently through the halls of Area 52, giving words of encouragement to patients of all species recovering there. His time among the humans had softened the rigid edges of his Klaatu warrior ethos. As he walked outside to get some air, he noticed Dr. Jane Smith speaking in hushed, worried tones with a group of men in dark suits. She spotted Gorthak and quickly rushed over. You shouldn't be out here, she whispered. Some government officials need to speak with you. It's about your past. Gorthak's expression darkened. So, my old foes finally tracked me to your world. Jane put a hand on his arm. Let us handle this peacefully. No good can come from meeting violence with more violence. From the shadows emerged a powerfully built Klaatu in ceremonial armor, flanked by a squad of elite guards. Gorthak instinctively reached for a weapon he no longer carried. Colonel Orcar, Gorthak growled, you dare pursue me across the stars to this neutral planet? Orcar chuckled coldly. Once a deserter and oathbreaker, always one. Did you think you could evade Klaatu justice forever? Jane stepped between them. Now wait just a minute. Gorthok is under our protection here as a patient receiving treatment. Do not interfere, human, Orcs snarled. This traitor must answer for his crimes against the Empire. And what crimes might those be? Jane asked defiantly. He abandoned his sworn duty and fled like a coward. He betrayed his blood oaths. He must pay the price. Orcs drew his scythe-like energy blade, advancing toward Gorthok. Gorthok slowly exhaled and took a meditative stance. I left because I could no longer stand the pointless violence, the never-ending cycles of vengeance that consumed our people. Orcs spat. Blasphemous words. I will cut out your tongue. He swung his crackling blade down toward Gorthok, but it was met in mid-air by a shining shield projected from Alfie. I don't think you want to test my defensive capabilities, sir, Alfie said politely but firmly. A tense standoff ensued. Jane spoke up calmly but resolutely. Gorthok is under our medical protection. Any violence against him is a violation of interplanetary ethical codes. We cannot allow it. The other doctors, nurses, and patients gathered behind her in solidarity. Orcs glared contemptuously around at the bizarre assembly. Gorthok rose to his full height. Your bloodlust only breeds more. I will remain here to walk a better path, if the humans will have me. Jane smiled. Of course, my friend. You'll always have a place here. Sensing the situation shifting, Orcs reluctantly powered down his blade. Very well. The coward is not worth further effort. He motioned his guards to withdraw. As he turned to leave, he gave one last warning. Mark my words, Gorthok. You have not heard the last from the Klaatu Empire. With that, he marched into his star cruiser and blasted away. Gorthok turned toward Jane. Thank you for standing by my side. You showed me that humanity's compassion matches its ingenuity. Jane playfully nudged his arm. Oh, we're not a completely altruistic species. I expect you to pull plenty of shifts in the xenosurgery ward from now on. Deal? Gorthok bowed solemnly, but his eyes glimmered with mirth. It would be my honor. Arm in arm, Human and Klaatu walked together back toward the facility that had become their unlikely home.